Hello there, Chalk and friends. It's Making Maria, your independent Chalk Couture designer. I'm sorry I'm a little late tonight, but welcome. Hello, everybody. Hey, welcome. Sorry I'm a little late. I was busy crafting and I totally spaced on the time it was, so I apologize for being late. I'm working on my ink mat here while I'm talking to you real quick because we're going to do a little inking tonight. We're going to make a super cute little pillow for my daughter's room. But there's fuzz all over my ink mat, so I need to work on getting it off so that my fuzz mat is sticky. Now what I should have done was I should have run my ink mat underwater, but I was out of time. So now I'm just pulling. Okay, it's getting sticky again. Whew. All right, so welcome everybody. I'm Making Maria. I am your independent Chalk Couture designer. We are going to have some fun with a quick little pillow tonight. Hello, Linda Squared. Cheryl and Amanda is here. We're going to make a fun little pillow for my daughter's bed. We're going to use the Dear Bed, I Love You transfer. So we're going to put this on this really adorable little pillow for in her room. And it's not going to take a ton of time. So we're going to use Chalk Couture, which is an amazing product. I'm trying to find my zipper here. Chalk Couture is a company that is chalking the halls, walls, accents, and accessories of homes all across America. We were created to be designed, loved, and repeated for every season and any reason, and we bring easy, high-end DIY home decor directly to you by offering reusable silkscreen transfers, Chalkology paste, Couture ink, which is what we're going to use tonight, surfaces, accessories, all meant to make crafting super easy, super stress-free, and tons of fun. It's going to be tons of fun. Hello, Linda. Amanda is procrastinating with her homework. Now, Amanda, I love that you watch me, but homework comes first. The crafting comes later. Right? Right. So let me show you what we're making here tonight. This super fun little buffalo plaid pillow. I buy these all over the place. Chalk Couture makes a very nice canvas one that you can dye all kinds of fun colors. But I kind of like the plaid. Now you could also ink the buffalo plaid pattern on your pillow because we do have a mini and a larger squared buffalo plaid transfer. So if you buy a pillow or you sew, because many of you are sewers, you could sew your own pillow. You can just ink it to make the background that you want to make with it. And what's nice about that is it gives you that flexibility to create with your own colors to match your own decor. That is what I love. One of the many things I love about this product is I can customize the pieces in my home to my tastes and my colors, where I'm not stuck when I look at a store and like, oh, I really love that, but oh, it's totally the wrong colors. Now I can say, oh, I really love that transfer, and ooh, let's make it all these different ways. So that's kind of the fun part about the company. Hello, Miss Carol. Welcome. So if you can please do this, it helps me tremendously when you do that. So thank you to everybody who takes the time to do that. Thank you. What else can I tell you right away? Let's get all this stuff out of the way. If you are curious to see this really cute little transfer that says Dear Bed, I Love You, you can go to www.chalkcouture.com/makingmaria. It is called Dear Bed, I Love You. And did you see that fancy new website we got today? OMG! Holy cow, it is pretty! I was like, oh my gosh, I'm so impressed with this new little website. And it's so much easier to navigate. Okay, so I take my transfer out of its plastic. I'm going to put it out. This is going to be adorable in her room. So my daughter's room, we call it the purple room, is not even her bedroom. It's called the purple room. And therefore, I think we're going to do it in purple. So this is what an ink mat looks like. My ink mat has tons of lint on it. Whatever, I know what I did last time. I did a sweatshirt. And sweatshirts have all that lint on the, a brand new sweatshirt. You know the best part about brand new sweatshirts, right, is how fuzzy it is on the inside. Well, it gets all over your ink mat. So how you get that off is you wash it with water. You never, ever, ever touch your ink mat with a baby wipe or a disinfectant wipe. If you do that, it takes all of the stick off of your ink mat. So the only thing that ever touches ink mats is water. So you can rinse them off. Now obviously I've used my ink mat. You can see the ink on it. You can wash that off if it really bothers you. It doesn't bother me. So my ink mats get well used and are well loved. They're not expensive, and they do make chalking or inking a little bit easier, especially on a surface like this pillow. So I'm going to slide it into my pillow. And the reason it works well on this pillow is very textured. I'll try to hold it up so you can see the weave of the pattern. This is something I've learned in inking. I try not to buy things that are bumpy. And so what I do is I use my ink mat and I smooth out the pattern as much as I can. Because if you have bumps and things, what happens is you have a potential for a bleed. So just know I try to buy as smooth of a surface for inking as possible. It doesn't mean you can't do it. Just means you got to know that you definitely need something sticky in here, like an ink mat, and you smooth out as much of the texture as you can. And that's where the benefit to the ink mat being sticky is, because as I smooth it out, it sticks, and then I don't have to worry about it moving back. So I'm going to stick our cute little transfer right on here. So this is what an adhesive silkscreen transfer looks like. This is a B-size transfer. It is $14.99. Our transfers come in sizes A, B, C, D, and E. And the letter tells you, I always want to say number. The letter tells you the size of the transfer. An A-size transfer is 5 by 7. A B-size transfer is 8.5 by 11. C's are 12 by 18. D's are 18 by 18 squares, so they are perfect for most pillow patterns. And E's are 18 by 24. So they go from really little to really big. And the price is based on what letter your transfer is. A size is an A size transfer is $9.99. A B size transfer is $14.99. C's are $24.99. D's are $29.99, and E's are $39.99. Those are the retail prices of our transfers. So it's very reasonable. I always say to people, when you look at a transfer, are there pieces on it or things on it that you can see yourself using to make something else? Or is it a one and done? Now, have I bought one and done transfers? Oh, heck yeah. Where it was a transfer that was a sentiment that I absolutely loved it the way it was. I was never going to do anything else with it except make it the way it was. So I definitely have those that I have fallen in love with. But I also like to look at a transfer from an economic standpoint and say, okay, like this one. Obviously it has dear bed, but the I love you part could totally be used to make other things. The hearts on here are super cute. There's just things you can do with it. So that's what I like about when I look at a transfer, is I'm always looking at it from a standpoint of what else can I do with it. So this transfer, I'm going to put it upside down, and on the back of the transfer, I'm going to write the name of the transfer, which is Dear Bed. I love you. I love to sleep. I don't know about you guys, but I absolutely love to sleep. I don't get enough sleep, but I love to sleep. And I hate morning. Oh, my poor children. They did not get the mother that gets up with them and makes them breakfast. Nope, they did not. They learned at an early age how to feed themselves breakfast and go to school while their mother lays in bed. I'm a horrible mother, really, at the end of the day. Thank God my husband's a morning guy, because it ain't me. So I take my transfer, I put it face down, and I very carefully, hey Janine, hey Terry from Texas, hey Cindy, hey Melissa from Canada. Hello everybody. All right, so I'm going to take my transfer, and I'm going to very carefully pull it off of its backer sheet. The backer sheet's important, so don't throw it away. You're going to put it back on here when you're all done with it. You're going to rinse your transfer with water, let it dry. You're going to slide it back on your backer sheet, and that's how you store your transfer. Then you flip your transfer over to the sticky part. You center it the best you can. You can measure if you want. It's okay. Just because I choose not to measure doesn't mean that you can't. But when you have a pattern like this, it's really easy to measure. You just count the squares. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. So I'm kind of centered. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Yep, I'm good. My kids make their own breakfast and lunch for school. Mine too, Melissa. Melissa, I'm really bad. And I blamed my sister for a long time about lunches. For a long time, I blamed my sister. My sister was one of the national directors of, well, she ran a food service for schools, for a school district. And then at one point, she was the national director of the food service organization for hot lunch. So I always use the excuse of, you know, Auntie Carmela, this is what she does for a living, and it's really important to support your food service program at school, so you have to take hot lunch. You have to eat hot lunch, just because I hate to make lunches. And then my daughter, who hates hot lunch, then I said to her, well, hey, you can take your lunch if you want to, but you got to make it. I ain't making it for you. And you got to do your dishes from your lunchbox when you come home. The first time I find a lunchbox with dirty dishes in it, no more taking your lunch to school. I am such a mean mom. It's amazing to me, honestly, that my children survive. So I'm pushing my transfer down really well, because I'm totally digressing here. And making sure it's stuck. Again, my pillow is bumpy, and this transfer has these lines and things in it. So I want to make sure I'm not going to have a bleed. So I'm going to be very careful when I ink this. I'm going to ink in one direction. I'm not going to want to try and get all fancy with this. Again, my problem is my fabric is bumpy. So we're going to see. This may not work so well. We might have to switch to another pillow. So my daughter's room is called the purple room because it's painted purple. It's a very, very pale, the color is called lilac mist. It's a very pale lilac color. So I was thinking we would go regal, which is kind of a deeper purple. We could go fig, but fig is kind of a gray purple, and her room is really like super light. Like wisteria, which is our new color that's coming out, but it isn't out yet, and it's not, I don't think it's coming out in ink. It's a kind of a lilac purple. So I was thinking maybe the combination of these two colors, doing the words in one color and then the hearts in fig. I don't want to do the words in fig because I think it will be hard to see. My other thought was navy blue, because then I could put it on my bed. And I did pull out red and pink for my hearts, but I think we're going to stick with these two guys. So, inking is a little bit different than chalk. The process is exactly the same. You squeegee, you do everything else you do is the same, but you have to be careful with ink because ink is permanent. Where chalk you can remove, so if I get it on something, I wash it off. Well, you can't do that with ink. So you have to be super careful with like your fingers and like your lids when you open up your chalk, where you're going to set it so that you're not moving your project around and inadvertently getting it in your ink container. I know this from experience because, of course, I've done it. So you just want to be conscious of it. So anytime I touch my ink container from now on, I'm going to check my fingers for ink, and just to make sure I don't have ink on them. I also make sure that I put my lids far away from my project. The other thing with ink is you don't have to stir it. Oh shoot, I didn't open these beforehand. Sometimes these are really hard to get open. So I take my lid and I put it far away from my project because I don't, ink, when you don't use your ink containers all the time, sometimes they're not easy to get open. Look at the pretty color this is. This is just gorgeous. So we're gonna use these two. Again, I put my lids way far away so I don't have to worry. I check my fingers. So with ink, I don't stir it and I don't add water to it. It's just ready to go as soon as I open it. I'm going to take my squeegee, and I think what we're gonna do, I'm gonna get a mini squeegee out. We're gonna do the heart. Let me zoom you in a little bit so that you can see a little closer what I'm doing. Ooh, not that much, sorry. Come back out. Okay, so see, This transfer has these little sprays, and then it's got these hearts. We're going to do the hearts and the spray in one color, and then we're going to do the words in another color. The other thing that I don't have to worry about with ink is I don't have to worry about it drying as fast as I have to worry about it with chalk. So you're going to notice I'm going to go much slower than I normally do when you see me work with chalk. It's just because ink doesn't dry and it dries through the screen, where chalk can dry on top of the screen. Ink goes through because it actually gets absorbed by the material that's underneath it, where chalk just sits on top of your material. So I'm gonna have more time, and I'm gonna take my time when I do this. So I'm gonna start with my mini squeegee. My squeegee has two sides. It has a flat side and it has an angled side. The angled side is my front. I'm gonna take my squeegee and I'm just gonna dip it right in. I check my fingers, and I'm gonna do these little sprays right here. Now you will find you use more. I'm gonna wait to do the rest of them yet because I wanna do the big letters first. You use more ink than you use chalk because it actually gets absorbed into the material. So you do use a little bit more of it, but ink glides where chalk has a little more resistance to it. So ink is it's kind of fun to ink because it just, it's so smooth when you use it. Just make sure that you cover up your whole silk screen. So I'm using very light pressure. I'm not going hard because I don't need to. It goes right through the screen. You do have to squeegee, but I'm not, I'm not going as hard as I did. I'm just kind of relaxed. I'm having a good time. This is one where you can drink a glass of wine. You can have fun. You just squeegee right across. So I'm just covering up my silk screen, making sure that I have, because again, there's bumps on here, so I can see when I have a spot that I've missed, or it might not have as much ink on it as other spots. So you just kind of go straight across. So my daughter's room got the nickname the purple room. Ooh, shoot, I did that heart. I didn't want to do that. Well, we're going to try going over it with the other one. Because when we first moved into the house, I mean, her bedroom is like that perfect little girly girl room. She was much littler, obviously, when we moved in. We've lived here for 7 years now. But we painted the walls these pretty purple. She's got like a princess bed. There's like cute little, pictures on the wall. I made like the perfect like little girl room that she didn't have at the other house for when we moved here. And we moved in. She slept in it for 1 or 2 nights. And she shared a room with her little brother at the old house. And within 2 nights, she was back to sleeping in the same room with him. So here hers is the only room in the house, other than the laundry room and my powder room, that are painted a different color. Every other room in the house is painted the same exact color, except for her bedroom. Every bedroom is the same, everything. Her bedroom is this cutesy little perfect princess room, and then she never slept in it. So it became the guest room, and we called it the purple room, because it's purple. Well, now that she started middle school this year, this is the first year now she's sleeping in it, because she has to get up way earlier than he does. But they liked sharing a room. And we could hear them up there talking to each other and giggling, and it's like, why are we separating them? They're happy together. And now on the weekends they have sleepovers. It's so funny. They'll have these little sleepovers all of a sudden, and notice I missed a spot up here with the purple. All right. I'm making sure I've got all my screen covered, which it appears that I do. Okay, I'm going to just do this one more time, because again, I got some purple in the darker purple in there. So I want to see if I can cover it up. If not, it's going to be a hot mess heart. Okay, that's all I'm going to do. I check my fingers before I touch my project, and I very carefully pull it up. Okay, so I can see, as I'm sure you can, that there are spots where I didn't actually push it through hard enough. That's part of the problem when I I tend to go too lightly, and then I don't get the ink coverage I want. So I'm going to try, you know, just putting some more on and pushing a little harder. I didn't push very hard the first time because I'm worried about the bumps and it not, you know, getting a bleed. So I'm going to push a little harder and hope that the bumps work with me here. Fill it up one more time. And that's the other thing, you know, you have with ink, because the fabric, again, because it's bumpy, it is absorbing it differently in different spots because some parts have more fabric than others. So you do have to carefully lift it up and see, how did it work? Do you need to add more ink? Do you need to wash your transfer up? Oh, I don't have my water bath. You know, what do you need to do? So let's try it now. Check my fingers and see if I got more ink through. See, now it worked. Except for the top of my deer. So I'm going to do it again and get up here. The other thing you have to be careful when you use ink is that you don't go off of your transfer, because obviously if I you know, get squeegee happy and I go up here, I can't wash it off. Once it's there, it's there. Okay, again, check my fingers, and I can feel that I have ink on my finger. Okay, got it off. And carefully, there we go. Carefully pull my transfer. Oop, my eye. If I was using a fabric that wasn't this bumpy, this wouldn't be a problem. It's my fabric. But I really liked this pillow. So we'll see. And as long as you go slow and you can go back and you can check it. There we go. So I take my transfer. I forgot my water bath, so I'm going to set it aside, sticky side up, on something that I don't care that I got ink on, or that I know I can wash ink off of, which is the back of my counter, which is what I put it on. Let me zoom you back out so you can see the whole pillow. Okay. So now I need to heat set it. So that's the difference between ink and chalk. I could chalk this pillow if I wanted to. You can chalk on fabric, but when you go to wash it, it's going to come off. So if you're going to do something where you're never going to wash it, you know, like really your decorative pillows on your bed, bless you if you wash them often. But I don't always do that. So if you're not going to wash the pillow, you know, you could use chalk. But if you're going to wash it, you want to use ink, because you want it to be permanent so that when you wash it, it doesn't come off. So that's what we're going to do now, is we're going to heat set it. So that beeping noise you hear next to me is my fancy iron. You're going to use either an iron, which is what most normal people have, or you're going to use a heat press, which is what I have. The heat press is a wonderful tool to have, but don't feel like you need to, oh, I do have ink all over me. Don't feel like you need to invest in one. They are a small investment, but they do make it go a little faster. So if you can see yourself doing a lot of inking, then it's a nice thing to have. But if you don't see yourself doing a lot of inking, an iron works just fine. So how do you heat set? You iron it for 4 minutes, both sides. So what I need to do now is I need to pull out my ink mat. Again, my ink mat's going to have ink on it, so you can even see the words, bed. So be careful with it, because now I've touched it and I have ink on my hands. So every time you touch something, check your fingers. So I take my ink mat out and I need to dry my ink. So I'm just going to take my little dryer and dry it. Ink takes a little longer to dry than chalk does, just because it's, again, more thick on your fabric. When you go to iron it, you're going to iron it for 4 minutes on one side, and then you're going to turn it inside out, and you're going to iron it for 4 minutes on the other side. And then you can throw it right in the washing machine. It's nice for pillows like this where you're doing something in a kid room, where you're never quite sure what they're doing in their room. You know, know, sometimes they like to color on their bed, even though they're not supposed to have those things in their room. Sometimes they get sick and you want to wash it because you're not sure what germs are on it. There's a lot of ink on here, so I'm just taking my time and drying it. It's a fun little transfer. I'm waiting for my box of my new stuff that I've ordered. Have you guys checked out the new catalog? Oh, and catalogs are here. They arrived. So I'm starting, I put the ones that I need to mail out in the, they're all ready to go to the post office, which I'm going there tomorrow. But if you signed up for a catalog and you're local, we need to figure out how to get it to you. Okay, so I'm taking my time and making sure I'm dry because I've got a lot of ink on here. How I know if I'm dry is I take my hands, I check them, make sure I have no ink on them, and I go down and up. And if I come up with no ink, I'm dry. See, on the bottom of my hands I got ink, so I know at the bottom I'm not dry. Wash that ink off and then just hit it again. Make sure you're dry. You want to make sure it's dry because first of all, you're going to get ink on your iron, which you don't want to do. Well, you're going to put parchment paper in between, so you're not going to necessarily do that. But you just want it to be dry so it properly heat sets. Okay, so again, I do the same thing. I look at my hands, I make sure I have no ink. I go down and up, I come up with no ink. Actually, I came up with a little ink. Right there. It's gonna feel like it's not dry. Because it always feels tacky until it's heat set. Once it's heat set, it's gonna actually feel like it's part of the material. So what I do next is I'm gonna take my, actually I'm gonna stick this right inside. I don't normally put it inside, but I'm gonna put it right inside. So this is my like ironing board for my heat press. I need a piece of parchment paper. Yes, I do need a piece of parchment paper, and I do not have any parchment paper in here. Ah! Okay, we're not gonna heat set this because I don't have my parchment paper in here. How can I not have my... I always have parchment paper in here. Well, alrighty. We are not heat setting this evening, ladies and gentlemen. I will heat set... Oh, no. Never mind. Found it. Okay. So you take a piece of parchment paper and you put it over it. You take your iron and you're going to iron it for 4 minutes. I'm going to hold my heat press on it, and I have to do this in 2 stages because it's too big to do it in one. And I hold it on here and I hit my little timer thing and I hold it on here for 30 seconds and I'm heat set. So you can do it either way. You can iron it or you can heat press it. This is the original use of this tool is for your Cricut machine or your Silhouette machine with heat transfer vinyl, but it works really nicely for heat pressing our ink. Okay, and then I just push it down and I just put a little light pressure in it. Now my light pressure is I just hold my hand on top of it. I could put a little more weight on it if I wanted to, but you don't have to. So how is everybody's day today? Oh, Jen. Hello, Miss Jen. Jen, I have stuff for you. We need to connect so that I can get you your stuff. But catalogs are here. I've got catalogs for everybody that signed up. There is craft night next week on next week Thursday evening. Right? That's next week? Nope, it's the following week. Tuesday during the day, we're doing a craft day. If anybody wants to come, a bunch of you are coming to that. Oh, love it when it steams. Oh my gosh. Okay, so now I take my little ironing board out and I'm going to flip my pillow inside out so I can heat set this side. So this is the other nice benefit to having a heat press is see how it all came through like that? The ink mat prevented it from bleeding through to the other side. I'm just going to put my parchment paper on the inside. And you just do this again. So we've got lots of fun events coming up. Next week, Tuesday during the day is craft day. So if anybody wants to come, you're welcome to come to that. And then the following Thursday evening is craft night here. And then next week, Wednesday, is our first workshop Wednesday, where we're actually inking. We're going to make some tea towels, and you're going to be able to create what I'm creating right along with me. So probably today, we're running out of time to mail them. So if you're local and you want to pick up a kit, you can craft right along with me. And then on the 26th, oh, the new earrings came today. They're different shapes. Oh, they're so cool. On the 26th, we're going to make some very fun wooden earrings. So if you want to join that workshop Wednesday, and you can be anywhere in the country to do that because those things I can mail. So as long as we've got enough time and I can get them to you, you're welcome to create right along with me, and you can create the same thing that I'm creating. So that's what workshop Wednesdays are. I send you the stuff, and you make it right along with me. So we've got lots of fun things coming up. Okay, so I take my parchment paper out. Ooh, this bad boy's hot and steamy. So I think this would be super cute on pajamas too. I'm gonna have to do that on a sweatshirt. You know, I sleep in sweats. I realize normal people see. Ooh, I didn't think about that. Oops, I might have melted my, not melted, but I just, it'll go back to normal. My little mat. Don't iron on your mat. Moral to the story. Oops, I didn't even think about that. All right, so now I take my pillow form out. I buy these all, you can buy these all over. And they say you should buy your pillow form. The form itself should be 1 inch to 2 inches bigger than the actual pillow cover, so that you have a plump pillow. And I do agree with that. I don't know what size this one was. This should be, because I don't remember what size the pillow is, but I could have measured it. But it's looking pretty plump. Okay, so just zip her up. And look, just like that. Okay, this is gonna be so stinking cute on her bed. Oh my gosh, we need pajamas that say this, don't we? So for those of you who don't sleep in a sweatshirt like me, you can put this on a t-shirt for pajamas, pillows. This would be cute on a little nightstand sign. So super adorable. So once you heat set it and you feel it, it feels like it's part of the fabric, which is totally different than, let me get rid of that. Before it felt tacky when I touched it. It doesn't feel, I mean, it almost feels wet, but it feels tacky until you heat set it. Once you heat set it, it feels like it's part of the fabric. So here's our super cute little pillow that we're making this evening. So that's how you use ink. So next week, Wednesday, for our workshop, we're going to use ink. So if you want to try this technique, we're going to make 3 tea towels. And that information is in the Making Maria VIP group. So you need to be in that group in order to get that information. So you can either put it in your toolbar, your search bar right on Facebook, type in Making Maria VIP group and request to join, or you can just comment add me and I'll send you the link so that you can just click on it. It's a closed group, so you have to request to join. And it's only closed because of some of the fun things that we do in there that I can't do out in a public forum. So that's the Making Maria VIP group. I told you where you can go if you want to see these amazing products. It's www.chalkcouture.com/makingmaria. If you're curious at all about what it means to do the fun things that I'm doing and all the different ways that you can use this amazing product to maybe earn a little extra cash, there's all kinds of different ways you can do it, and there's not a lot of rules about how you do it. So if you're curious at all, you can comment curious or message me, and I'd be happy to just give you the information, and you can see if it's something you want to do or not. It's totally up to you. And that's all I got for you tonight. So thanks so much for watching me. I hope you have a super fantastic Friday, right? It's Friday! Woot woot! It's Friday. Okay, good. It did lay back down. I'm not disformed anymore. Whew. I love my mat. I can't ruin my mat, but I'm digressing. So thanks for watching me. I hope you all have a great, great Friday. Ooh, tomorrow night we're having a sleepover. Not a sleepover, a sleep under. Did you know that that was a thing? not a sleepover, it's a sleep under. You go home at bedtime. So we're having a sleepover. Ella's having one with one of her girlfriends. So this is perfect for her on her cute little bed tomorrow night. And we're doing a random acts of kindness thing, like scavenger hunt tomorrow night. We're going to go out with her little friend and we're going to go do all kinds of fun things. So I should be back by 9. She has to go home by 9. So I might be a little bit late tomorrow night just because I have to take her home and then we'll get back. But so I'll probably be about 15 minutes late tomorrow night. But we'll make a project tomorrow and I will see you then. So thanks for watching me. I hope you have a great Friday, everybody. See ya.